Hey, it's Travis, Green Valley Anglers. If you're not getting bit in this early thaw, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to my weekly 6-pack of tips, a compilation of my daily 5 minutes to better bass fishing series, tightened up for pure info. Tip 5 this week is one you shouldn't miss. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss any. Now let's shotgun these right now and get you on them. Jumping right into tip number 1. It's February, water's climbing to the low 40s, and bass are staging deep but starting to stir. A fast-falling spoon with a lift and drop technique is like dropping a dying shad bomb they can't ignore. Today we're talking lifting and dropping spoons in February, why this simple vertical move is the ultimate reaction trigger, the exact setups I'm using, and the lift-drop pause that's putting 7-pounders in the boat as the pre-spawn looms. Ready? Let's go. Why lift and drop spoons is February's trigger. In water that's 40 to 45 degrees this time of year, bass suspend or cruise 10 to 30 feet off the bottom, keying on dying shad, but too lazy to chase. The lift shoots it up like a fleeing bait, the drop flutters helpless, triggering pure reaction bites without a ton of effort. In the transition, it works over staging spots where jigs or swim baits get ignored. One good drop zone can fire up a school. The flutter pulls them in without spooking them too much. My lift and drop spoon setups right now. A 3/4 to 1 ounce flutter spoon, chrome for clear water sunny days, or white for cloudy overcast days. I throw them on a Shimano X-Pride 7'2" medium heavy with the Shimano Curado 150 and 12-pound Sunline Sniper fluorocarbon, and direct tie it for maximum feel. Go to a gold spoon if there's stain in your water. I'll also keep a bucktail hair jig as backup for when they want something a little more subtle. Prime spots for lift and drop. Main lake humps are flat, dropping into 30 to 50 feet. Channel edges are bluff walls with 20 to 35-foot shelves. Standing timber edges or isolated deep brush. Areas with scattered bait, drop it right through the cloud of bait. The lift and drop technique that's crushing. Hover over the spot, drop on semi-slack line to the depth you're shooting for, count about 1 foot per second. Lift up sharp 2 to 4 feet, and then free fall on slack, and pause 10 to 30 seconds. And then repeat it. Bites slam on the fall. Set hard, reel down fast. In warmer pockets, think like 43 degrees plus, shorten pauses to 10 to 15 seconds. The colder the water, the longer you want to pause. And bank anglers, lift and drop spoons work from shore if you've got deep access. On dams or high bluffs dropping to 30 plus feet, use a 3/4 ounce spoon on a 7-foot to 7'2" medium heavy casting setup with 12-pound fluorocarbon line. Cast as far toward the deep as possible. Let it sink fully, then lift and drop it back up the drop with pauses. I've seen bank guys on public dams in February hammer limits just by working the spoon vertical off the ledge. The flutter draws them from deeper than you think. Your February lift and drop spoon cheat sheet. Weight, a 3/4 to 1 ounce spoon. Heavier for deeper. Colors, chrome or white for clear, gold for stained. Spots, think humps, ledges, timber in 25 to 50 feet, and if you see bait in any of those spots, that's the ticket. Setup, a 7-foot to 7'2" medium heavy rod casting pairing and 12-pound fluorocarbon for the most control. Your cadence, you want to lift 2 to 4 feet, free fall, pause 10 to 30 seconds. And here's your bonus. Add a stinger treble if they're nipping at the tail. Lift it, drop it, and catch them. Lift and drop spoons to capitalize on the transition. Next early February day, rig the spoon on the medium heavy, find a deep spot with bait, and let the flutter do the work. When that 7-4 slams on the fall, he'll be a lift drop addict. Time to tee up tip number 2. It's February. Water's warming to the low to mid 40s, and while shallow grass is gone, the deep remnants like hydrilla or milfoil in 20 to 35 feet could still be holding staging bass like a winter fortress. Right now, we're talking about probing deep vegetation in February, why these forgotten green edges are bass magnets now, the exact spots to target, and the baits to probe them without snags. Why probing deep vegetation is February's gold. Water's 40 to 45 degrees. Grass will die off in winter, but there may be remnants in deep, stable zones holding oxygen and tiny forage like craws or shad. Bass will use the edges for cover during transition, staging for pre-spawn without full shallow commitment. The probe lets you fish the vegetation vertically or slow without hanging up constantly. One good deep patch can reload all day as schools slide in from open water. The deep vegetation spots I'm crushing right now. Number 1, Outside edges of old hydrilla lines in 25 to 35 feet on flats. Number 2, scattered milfoil or pondweed patches in your channel drops. 3, transitions where vegetation meets rock or gravel. Number 4, deep grass humps or points in southern arms that holds warmth longer. I'll idle with side imaging on, looking for the fuzz on the bottom. Then down imaging to confirm arcs in the edges before I'm parking my boat right there. Money baits for probing deep vegetation. A 3/8 ounce tube jig head with a 4-inch tube. I love green pumpkin. Throwing that on my favorite Shimano X Pride 7'2" medium heavy with a Shimano Corrado 150 and 12-pound Sunline Sniper fluorocarbon. This allows you to probe without snags. A 1/2 ounce football jig and small craw trailer, same colors, same setup for dragging the edges. Looking at a light spinning setup, I love the Megabass Destroyer Landsat 611 extra fast, and I throw that with the Shimano Vanford 3000 and 8-pound Sunline Assassin fluorocarbon if you want something a little more finesse. Those are my favorite pairings. You can use the same or your favorite brand in similar sizes and actions. Here's your technique. Probe vertical or slow horizontal. Hover over the patch, drop the tube or jig on semi-slack into the green. Let it sink to depth, hop 4 to 8 inches. It doesn't take a ton of rod movement to just hop that little. You want to free fall it and pause to 10 to 30 seconds, as long as you can stand it. Let the fish tell you what they're looking for. For a jig, you can drag inches along the edge. Bites on the fall or pause. Make sure you feel the fish before you set to avoid snags from those phantom bites we all get from time to time. And bank anglers, probing deep vegetation is tougher without a boat. But if you've got access to reservoirs with remaining grass near steep drops like some southern public lakes, it's totally doable. Look for riprap or points where grass historically grows deep. Use the same 3/8 ounce tube on a 7-foot to 7'2" medium heavy casting setup with 12-pound fluorocarbon. Cast toward the old grass line, let it sink fully, then hop and pause it back up the break. I've caught solid fish off public access in February just by targeting areas known for winter grass. The probe lets you feel the edges. Your February deep vegetation probe cheat sheet. Look for faint green edges or patches in 20 to 35 feet on flats, humps, or channels. Your key, vegetation to mud, vegetation to rock transitions. Baits, a tube jig, a football jig, or go something a little bit more finesse like a finesse tube. Setup, 7-foot to 7'2" medium heavy casting and 12-pound fluorocarbon for control. Look at a spinning setup if you want to do something more finesse. Technique, drop vertical, hop 4 to 8 inches, pause 10 to 30 seconds as long as you can stand it. Again, let the fish tell you what they're looking for. Experiment on those pause lengths. Bonus, southern lakes or mild winters hold grass longer. Probe the green, catch the mean, and there you have it. Probe the last deep vegetation and watch the bites ignite. Next early February day, graph for the faint green instead of the obvious cover. Rig the tube on the medium heavy and probe slow. When that 7.3 loads on the hop, you'll be a vegetation prober. Tip number 3, coming at you right now. It's early February, water's warming to the low 40s, everything is moving slow and bass are transitioning, but still super sensitive in clear water. Too much noise screams danger instead of dinner. Right now, we're talking avoiding overvibration in February, why subtle baits are the way to go, the exact quiet rigs I'm using, and how dialing back the thump turns spooks into strikes. Why avoid overvibration in February's transition? In water that's 40 to 45 degrees, bass stir for pre-spawn but remain sensitive in clear high-pressured lakes. Loud vibes like big blades or rattles sound unnatural and can spook fish that are already on edge. Subtle or no vibration lets baits look and feel natural, like a crawling crawl or a drifting shad without sounding the alarm. In the warm-up, overvibration scatters schools. Quiet draws them in close for the eat. My avoiding overvibration rules right now. In clear water, you want 0 vibration, silent baits only. Lightly stained, think minimal thump, like a small willow blade or a single rattle. Only think about adding more vibration or thump if the water is getting murky or the water's warm enough. Otherwise, stay silent. Focus on feel over flash. Combining that with light line will help transmit feel for those subtle takes. My subtle bait lineup that's crushing. A 1/2 ounce finesse jig and small craw trailer with no rattle. A Texas rig 5-inch finesse worm on a 3/8 ounce tungsten. A small 3.3 swim bait on a 3/8 ounce ball head if they want shad. Your retrieve. Keep it whisper quiet. Drag or hop inches. Pause 15 to 45 seconds if you can stand it. Let the bait sit natural. No loud shakes or crazy hops. The bites will come soft as they're inspecting the bait. And bank anglers, avoiding over-vibration is crucial in pressured public water. In clear spots like dams, use the same silent finesse jig on a 7'2" medium heavy rod and 12-pound fluorocarbon. Cast parallel down the riprap, drag slow without the thump. I've seen bank guys turn spooked fish into limits in February just by going quiet. The subtlety draws them without alarm on long casts. Your February avoiding over-vibration cheat sheet. Clear water, silent only, no blades or rattles. Stained, minimal, like a small willow underspin or a single rattle jig. Baits, finesse jig, a Texas rig worm, a ball head swim bait. Your retrieve, inches at a time, long pauses. Let the natural do the work. Your bonus, test loud versus quiet in the same spot. The fish will give you their vote with what they're biting on. Quiet the vibe, up the bites. And there you have it. Avoid over vibration and let subtlety do the talking. Next early February day, rig the silent jig, find the transition, and drag slow. When that 7-pounder commits without spook, you'll know the quiet paid off. Fired up for tip number 4. Let's go. It's early February, water's warming to the low to mid 40s, and as bass stir for pre-spawn, a speed crank crankbait deflecting off cover or burning right by them is like a fleeing shad they just can't help but attack. Today we're talking speed cranking for reaction bites in February. Why burning it triggers staging fish, the exact setups I'm using, and the fast reel deflect pause that's putting 7-pounders on the treble hooks as the transition heats up. Why speed cranking for reaction bites is February's trigger. Water's creeping up to the mid-40s, bass are transitioning, metabolism is revving but still lazy. A fast crank creates a reaction without much thought. Deflecting off a rock or wood mimics a panicked bait, triggers instinctive strikes from staging fish. As the water warms up, it works when slow stuff gets ignored, especially in stained water or wind. One good crank run can fire up a school. The speed covers water fast to find them. My speed cranking setups, right now. Bait, a deep diving crank. Love the XD series from Strike King in red craw or shad. The 5 or 6 XD is a good place for you to start as they have about a 15 to 20 foot diving depth. Rod and reel is a Shimano X-Pride 7-foot medium with a Shimano Corrado 150 and 10-pound Sunline crank fluorocarbon. It's got a forgiving tip for keeping the bass pinned and a backbone for hook sets. Also, a big fan of the Dobbins Fury crankbait specific rods. They're a nice bang for your buck. Prime spots for speed cranking. Rocky main lake points or bluffs with 10 to 20 foot drops. Windblown banks or riprap in 5 to 15 feet. Shallow flats near deep channels with scattered stumps. South-facing rock during peak warmth. The fish will slide up as it warms. The speed crank technique that's crushing. Cast long to structure, reel fast, rod tip low, and burn it back. Deflect it off wood or rocks, pause 5 to 10 seconds after the bump. And then repeat. Bite slam on the deflection or the pause. Reel set into them nice and smooth. In warmer pockets, 45 degrees plus, speed up. If it's colder, add longer pauses. And bank anglers, speed cranking is amazing from shore. Long casts let you cover water fast. On dams or riprap points with drops, use a 3 or 5 XD on a rod like the Dobbins Fury or the X-Pride 7-foot medium with a Corrado and 10-pound fluorocarbon. Cast parallel down the rocks. Burn it back, deflecting off structure. Stop reeling for a few seconds right when you hit a rock. Getting on a crankbait bite can be awesome. I've been on the bank on public lakes in February hammering limits just by speed cranking the edge. The reaction can make them hit harder than you think they would in the cold water. Your February speed cranking reaction cheat sheet. Speed, burn fast, rod tip low with a constant steady reel. Baits, deep crank like the XD series from Strike King in a craw or shad color. Tip setup, a 7-foot medium casting rod and 10-pound fluorocarbon. Here's your technique. Cast past the structure, burn it back, let it deflect, and then pause 5 to 15 seconds. Spots, rocky points, windblown banks, and flats in 5 to 20 feet. Here's your bonus. Stained water or wind, more reaction. Burn to earn. And there you have it. Try speed cranking to trigger those transition reaction bites. Next early February day with a little warmth, rig the crank on the 7-foot medium, find a rocky drop, and burn it back fast. When that 7-3 slams on the deflection, you'll know the speed paid off. I'm feeling tip number 5 coming at you right now. We're moving further into February. Water's continuing the slow warming trend, and bass are using deep ditches, those old creek beds or channels, as highways to stage for pre-spawn without full commitment to the shallows. Right now, we're talking following deep ditches in February, why these underwater paths are bass magnets right now, the exact ways to track them, and the baits that make them eat along the way. Why following deep ditches is February's path. Water's in the mid-40s, bass transitioning from winter deep to shallower, using ditches as stable routes with food along the way. Ditches hold shad and craws in the bends, providing cover with minimal exposure. As the water warms and the daylight grows longer, they cruise the contours. One good ditch can hold roaming schools all day. Following this type of structure lets you cover water efficiently. Find the fish without blind guessing. The deep ditch spots I'm crushing right now. 1. Main creek ditches winding through flats in 20 to 30 feet. 2. Bends or turns where the ditch swings close to a bank. 3. Ditch junctions with secondary channels or humps. 4. Ditches near the dam. That's the most stable water on the lake. I idle parallel with side imaging on for the contour lines. I'll mark the bends and bait, then down image to spot arcs along the edges. Money baits for following deep ditches. A half-ounce football jig with a small craw trailer. Green pumpkin is the standard. I throw it on a Shimano X-Pride 7'2" medium heavy with a Shimano Curado 150 and 12-pound Sunlight Sniper fluorocarbon. Use this setup to drag the edges. A 3.3-inch Kitech on a 3/8-ounce USA Bass Tackle Mark 17 underspin. Pro Blue is my favorite color. This is one of those guys right there. Love the eyes on these. These are fire. I throw this on the Mega Bass Destroyer 110 stick, which is a 610 fast, also with the Curado 150 and 10-pound Sunline Assassin fluorocarbon. Slow swim the contour lines with this setup. You can also have a flutter spoon as backup if you want to go vertical for suspended fish. I just dropped a video on vertical spooning for bass. Check that out from the other day. Your retrieve. Follow the ditch like a road. Cast parallel to the edge, drag or swim inches at a time along the contour. Pause 10 to 20 seconds with the jig. Experiment with the pause lengths. Let the bait tick the bottom or hover the drop with a reel stop reel with the underspin. Bites will come on the pause or the deflection. And bank anglers, following deep ditches works if the channel swings close to shore. Find public spots like road crossings or dams where the ditch is within casting range. Use the same half-ounce jig on the X-Pride 7'2" medium heavy with the Curado and 12-pound Sunlight Sniper like I use, or a similar pairing in your favorite brand. Cast down or across the swing, let it sink to the contour, then drag and pause slow. I've caught limits off public access in February just by working the ditch bends I could reach. Long casts, follow the path. Your February deep ditch follow cheat sheet. Look for creek or main channels in 20 to 50 feet with bends and junctions. Your key, ditches near dams or with bait arcs on your electronics. Baits, a football jig, underspin swim bait, or spoon. Your setup, a 7-foot to 7'2" medium heavy casting setup with 12-pound fluorocarbon for jigs, a 6'10" to 7-foot fast casting setup with 10-pound fluoro for the underspin. Your retrieve, parallel cast inches at a time with pauses in 10 to 20 seconds. Your bonus, light flow in the ditch equals more bait pushed through and bigger schools. Follow the ditch, find the fish, and there you have it. Follow the deep ditches and watch the baits line up. Next early February day, graph the channels instead of random nothingness. Rig the jig on the medium heavy and drag the contour slow. When that 7.5 thumps on the pause, you'll know the contour fall paid off. Okay, last but certainly not least, tip number 6 coming at you right now. We are well into February now. Water's warming to the low to mid 40s and the bass aren't random. They're wherever the bait fish are concentrated. Locate the shad or bait balls first, and the fish are already there. Right now, we're talking locating bait fish in February, why it's the shortcut to success in the transition, how to spot them fast with your electronics, and the baits that clean up when you park on the food. Why locating bait fish is February's fast path to catching a bag. Water is 40 to 45 degrees, shad are dying or balled up tiny in deep water. Bait fish will be clustering tight. Bass metabolism revs, but still low. They park on the easiest food source without roaming far. As pre-spawn stirs, bait moves to staging areas. Find the cloud, find the school. One good bait ball can hold a wolf pack all day. Skip all that guesswork. How I locate bait fish quick. Look for thick, snowstorm clouds on down imaging or traditional sonar. Tight football-shaped marks hovering 1 to 10 feet off the bottom and 20 to 40 feet of water. Usually near structure, channel swings, humps, ledges, or flats near the dam. Big arcs mixed in or right under equals bass are already gorging on that buffet. My search routine. I'll start on the lower lake or near the dam. Idle grids in 20 to 40 feet with side imaging on. Hunting the bait first. I'll mark the cloud, circle it, and dissect it slow. Money baits went on bait fish. A 3/4 ounce flutter spoon in chrome for clear water, gold for stained, and I like to throw it on my Shimano X-Pride 7.2 medium heavy with a Shimano Curado 150 and 12-pound Sunline Sniper fluorocarbon. Dropping the spoon right through the cloud to get to the bass that's underneath them. A 3.3-inch Kitech on a 3/8 ounce USA Bass Tackle underspin. Love these dudes right here. They catch them. And I'll throw that Kitech and Electric Shad or Pro Blue Red Pearl on a Megabass Destroyer 110 stick, which is a 610 fast casting rod with a Curado 150 and 10-pound Sunline Assassin fluorocarbon. And I'll be slow swimming it right underneath the bait cloud. The awesome thing about an underspin is it provides that flash and it really stands out from that cloud. And I'll keep a hair jig for backup if they're looking for something a little more subtle. Your presentation. Get in or under the cloud. Drop the spoon on slack, lift it 2 to 4 feet, flutter down with a pause of 10 to 30 seconds. With the underspin, let it drop through the cloud. A good reel stop reel. Bass will single out the blade. Bites will come on the fall or the first move on either one. And bank anglers, locating bait fish works from shore if you can see shad flickering on the top, and that can be money. Go to dams or deep riprap, look for surface shimmers or birds. Use the same underspin on a 610 Destroyer 110 stick with a Curado and 10-pound Sunline Assassin like I like to use, or a similar pairing in your favorite brand. Cast toward the flicker, let it sink through that ball, then slow swim it back. I've caught limits off public dams in February just by keeping the bait in the visible shad. The fish cruise right there. Your February locating bait fish cheat sheet. Look for thick clouds plus big arcs together. That's the money zone. Depth, 20 to 40 feet. Near structure or channels. Your tools, electronics, side or down imaging, or just your eyeballs if you're looking for visible bait flickers. Baits, flutter spoon, underspin swim bait, or hair jig. Setup, a 7-foot to 7'2" medium heavy and 12-pound fluorocarbon for spoons. A 6'10" to 7-foot fast action for the underspin on 10-pound fluorocarbon. Your presentation, drop through or hover under. You want to move slow through that cloud. Here's your bonus. If you see dying shad on the surface, probe just below them. Locate the food, locate the fish. And there you have it. Locate those bait fish and watch the bass show up. Next February day, idle for clouds instead of blind casting. Rig up the spoon or underspin and drop in the ball. When that 7.6 thumps on the flutter, you'll know your search game paid off. Drop a like if you're bait hunting this week, comment your biggest bait ball you've ever found, and subscribe so we keep these daily heaters coming. I appreciate you. Stay warm, locate the bait, tight lines, and I'll catch you on the next one.